everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Thom. This is Thom Jennings from the Niagara Gazette, and you'll see my weekly column appear in the Night and Day magazine. This is episode 14. It's hard to believe we've gone through this many of them, but I appreciate everybody that subscribed so far, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider it. And if you have, thank you so much. I appreciate you supporting it, and we'll keep them coming as long as you keep watching them. Obviously, with everything going on with the coronavirus, it just doesn't make sense for us to have live guests. Probably figure out over the next few weeks how to maybe do some audio recordings or maybe have some people share some video performances that they want to include in my weekly episode, but kind of go back to the original format, which was just me. And I just want to send a message out to everybody in the music community. And I know these are difficult times, and my son's in a band that had a whole bunch of gigs canceled. My part-time work is in the restaurant industry, so I've lost some work there, and just kind of the inability for everybody to get out and hang out and listen to live music. I mean, it's a challenge for all of us, but for especially the guys that I know that make a living off of music, and they've lost thousands of dollars over the last week. We're all doing it for the right reason. It still makes it tough, so I just want to let you know, and all your restaurant workers and anybody else for that matter that's suffered a financial downturn. We'll get through it. We always do. And one of the good things is that when it's all said and done, we'll be able to look back on this as a time we were able to kind of come together and get through it. So in case you missed, just a quick thing as far as just the weekly music news in the Niagara region. I did notice that speaking of great concerts, that Art Park added Buddy Guy to their summer list along with Los Lobos. And having seen Buddy Guy a couple of times live, I've had a friend of mine named Sean from Columbus, Ohio, and he said to me once, he goes, "Man, you haven't seen anybody live till you've seen Buddy Guy." And he was really he just gave this huge recommendation for me to see him. And so I went in with some pretty high expectations. My experience has been a lot of times when I go in and see a show that somebody has touted as like, this amazing live artist that you are kind of setting yourself up for disappointment. But Buddy Guy did not disappoint. He's kind of, if you've never seen him before, get tickets. Trust me on this one. It could come with a money back guarantee. And if you have seen him before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's in the summer. So, hopefully all this stuff will have been gone by then. And I think the summer concert season will be particularly fun because, it'll be an opportunity for us to finally all get back together and enjoy each other's company and listen to some music together. So a lot of places have been throwing together playlists and live Facebook events and everything. I would certainly encourage you, if there's a local or regional musician that you like, go check out their Facebook page, see if they're doing any Facebook live events. Some of them are putting up tip jars, virtual tip jars. If you can support them, support them. I mean, if you can't, you can. I mean, as I said, a lot of us have kind of, had to deal with a financial downturn because of all this stuff. But if you have the means to do it, it'd be a great way to support your local musician. So here's just some thoughts, too. If you're sitting around and you're looking for some new music, I'll throw a few names at you, just some people that may not be as well known. And if it turns out that you really like them, throw something in the comments for me. Or even if you have an artist of your own that you'd like me to check out, by all means, put that in the comments to this video as well. First one off the top of my head, female country singer Brandy Clark. And I saw Brandy 5 or 6 years ago opening up for Jennifer Nettles at Chautauqua. And I was just immediately blown away by her talent, her songwriting. She's just an incredible songwriter, unique singing style. And the last 4 or 5 years we've had a chance to meet her. I've interviewed her a couple of times. She's got a new album out that's absolutely amazing. By all means, check her out. Start at the first album, make it up to the new one. My personal favorite is still, she did I'm a vinyl record collector, hence the record tattoo and everything on my arm. And she did a live from Los Angeles acoustic performance, and to me that just captured everything that I absolutely fell in love with about Brandy Clark. But yeah, definitely check her out. Somebody a little bit older that maybe you're not familiar with, If you went to see Hall and Oates when they performed at Art Park, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, the person that opened up for him was a gentleman by the name of Mootlu, and another great singer-songwriter. If you're not familiar with his material, by all means, hit up his Facebook page, check out his music. I think you're gonna love him. Dark Water is a band that I mentioned on a previous episode of Tuning In with Thom. It's featuring Christian Bush, another member of Sugarland. We mentioned Jennifer Nettles earlier, and they got kind of an Americana, Grateful Dead type vibe. So, a lot of fun to listen to them. And if you're a Grateful Dead fan, I mean, you've certainly never listened to every Grateful Dead show. I know when I'm just in for the long haul, like sitting in for the evening, a nice long Grateful Dead show is always a lot of fun to listen to, but I don't need to pimp them. I'm sure you are familiar with the Dead, if you're a Dead fan, anyhow. Another one kind of off the top of my head is a group called Lake Street Dive. A friend of mine, Mara Jones, formerly known as Mara Dady, turned me on to them. Female lead singer, very funky, a lot of soul, just a really good band. They come through the area every now and then. I picked up one of their records on vinyl. Really enjoy it. Many people aren't super familiar with them. They're worth checking out. And obviously, if you're from the Niagara region, I probably don't have to tell you to look up Bruce Wojcik and Jamie Holka, but you can if I haven't told you already, because they're great. And then finally, I will pimp, which is maybe not the greatest word because I'm not a pimp by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll talk about a guy I'm a huge fan of, and that's Chris Wilson. He's out of the Rochester, New York area, and just a great singer-songwriter and a good dude. He does a collection of John Denver covers, which is, I hate to say it, in some ways it's better than the originals that John Denver sang, and John Denver was an amazing performer. So those are the things that you can check out. By all means, again, if you got anything that you'd like me to check out, put it in the comments. If you got any suggestions for the show going forward, I would always appreciate that. And as I'm sure a lot of people have said, we got a tough time that we're looking at right now, but we'll get through it. All right. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in with Thom. We'll see you next week.